guys, it's me Jenny. It's time for the second comment commentary of today. I'm back and it's time to carry on with the next 10 videos from my comments that I have answered. And I'm back in the actual comment commentary chair, although the angle on my web camera is a bit dodgy, so my posture is terrible, so I'm in frame, but there we go. So starting from the next one in reverse chronological order was mixed feelings when it comes to loud neighbours at 3 AM video. And Nathan Lyle says he's had, oh sorry, let's actually do the intro for those of you who are watching this. If this is your first video, welcome to my channel. If this is your first commentary, basically what I do is I respond to all of the comments, every single one, if I can. Occasionally I miss one, occasionally one's past the point where I'm doing the video checks. And you know, if anyone says anything particularly rude or crass, I tend not to respond to them, but I do try and respond to every single one, and I type responses to them and then I talk about them, so it turns into a conversation and not just, you know, me putting things out, you commenting in the comments. So conversation. And I film it in low definition because I tend to ramble when I'm covering a lot of videos, a lot of comments, and you know, doing it in low definition with slightly crappier audio means that I can talk for longer without it being an issue. So, back to the video. So mixed feelings when it comes to loud neighbours at 3 AM. This video I produced a couple of weeks ago. Nathan Lyle, official, says he's had that problem many times. The majority of the times he just ignores them, but when he gets home at 3 in the morning, sorry, there was no end there, 3 in the morning, and the speakers are so loud it's shaking my walls, and I can't sleep, I call the police. I've only done it twice in my life, but I almost did it a third time. Yeah, that comment reminded me of when I was in halls, and halls is, I don't know what the American equivalent is, but it's, you know, university accommodation for first years. There was, we had security on site for the halls I was in, and I ended up having security called on me once. That was my first night in halls. I happened to let it slip that I'd never been drunk, and you can get legally drunk after the age of 18. I was over the age of 18. I'd, you know, drunk before, but I hadn't actually been drunk before. I had some leftover Bacardi and some cider from my birthday, and, you know, I was being super friendly and trying to be all, like, cool and sophisticated and make friends on my first night in halls. So I threw a little kind of welcome to halls party in my bedroom, and it wasn't that late, it was about 12:30 maybe, and I'd had a couple of Bacardi shots, and yeah, it was an okay time, but because like, there's a general curfew for halls for 11 o'clock, so given that it was after that point at night, security came and told us that we had to break it up. And I was really surprised though, because it was the first night in halls. But I'm guessing people wanted, like, there was no school the next day, and there was like sign-ups and freshers fair and stuff, but there was no classes or anything, but apparently someone decided they wanted to sleep on their first night, which is reasonable. So yeah, that was the first time I was drunk. I got the spins really badly. I remember lying in bed like, why won't it stop spinning? So yeah, so I had it called on me once, and then I called security on it before. I think it was probably 4th week. It was after freshers was over. Like, freshers, you know, everyone's loud. Everyone kind of has to get over it a little bit. Because there's the freshers week, and then there's kind of like the secondary freshers week, while people are kind of coming down from that high and getting actually into class. And I think I forgave it for the first 2 weeks, and then when it got to a couple of months later, there was just people coming back from a late night, and I think it must have been a Sunday night going into a Monday, or maybe it was midweek. But I knew I had to get up early for class the next morning, and they were just being so loud, and it was consistent. It wasn't like a loud noise and then it goes away, but it was loud for about 40 minutes. So in the end, I like called down security and left like just like, hi, I'm from room 314. I'm trying to sleep. They're being loud on the corridor. And he was like, what's your name? Like, Jenny. I was just so tired and grumpy at that point, and then I rolled over and went back to sleep. So I'm guessing either they quietened down or security came up and told them off. But yeah, I don't have that in my village, but it was nice to have it briefly for halls. A lot of you recommended violence when it came to this. Mr. Harry Brett Allen said, help them with throw bricks and evil looks at them over early morning teas and scones. KSJ recommended that I squirt them with my hose, because gardening, or I drop plums on their head. And Red Sky Blackbird said you should burn their fucking house down with combustible plums. So yeah, a lot of violence recommended, but there was also sensible things like Red Sky Blackbird recommends earphones or earplugs. His broke a while ago. He cut the cables and now uses it when he wants to stay calm and quiet. Like when yeah. So it kind of works apparently. I know a lot of people like when it's a really kind of simple way of stopping hearing damage. If you just wear like noise proofing, like just mini buds when you go to like a loud club or a loud gig, and that way you don't damage your hearing really badly, but it's kind of subtle. Like I know some older friends who have like little just like they're not actually just hearing, like you can get just buy normal headphones and use those, but they've got like designated like little plug-in headphones just to plug in when you're at a gig, so you don't get that sort of damage. I don't think I could sleep in headphones. I've done it when I've slept in, like, camped at a festival or something like that, and I've gone to bed before everyone else or whatever. I've tried plugging in headphones. I just feel really uncomfortable. I just feel like I'm underwater. But you know, most of the time I can sleep through things. There is some point where I was just like, I'm awake. And it was too hot to close my windows. So I've kind of I jumped through a lot of them. So Red Sky and Blackbird said headphones and burn their fucking house down. KSJ said he wouldn't have been so polite. He would have squirted them with the hose or drop a load of plums on their head. Threshold of Dave said the bloodshot eyes set all. Yeah, my eyes were pretty red in that video. You know, that is what I look like when I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, the benefits of not wearing makeup or really doing much with my hair or, you know, filming naked truths and whatnot is, you know, when I do wake up at ridiculous o'clock in the morning and film myself, I really don't look any different, which is a plus. Because I've had friends who wear a lot of makeup and look beautiful. They look so well presented and they really take care of their entire look. And then on the days when they don't have time to do makeup or they forget or they're a bit under the weather, so they don't do it, they look so ill. And the one advantage to never wearing makeup is I never look worse than what I am. But there we go. Tours times. So she's got a long thing about when she was living in her 14-story apartment complex. And she had neighbours who were noisy and smoked and partied and drunk and all those things, and even though she doesn't have a problem with any of those things, doing it at ridiculous o'clock in the morning was not fun, especially when you're in a hot building and you have to keep your windows open in order to get some air coming through. And yeah, that sucks. Like, halls was pretty bad. The advantage of halls was we had nighttime security, so if it was really bad, you could just call for noise complaints. You know, if you forgot your card, you could ring in, anything like that. But yeah, that sucks. Like, to be an adult in that situation, that's really awful. Like, to be a student, it's a whole other thing, but to be an adult in a shared complex without that kind of buffer, that's really bad. As I said, Mr. Harry Brits told me to throw bricks and evil looks over tea and scones, and I've already talked about Nathan Lyles. So, moving forward. On my Vida-inspired video, $1 million, Ms. Harry Britt said, smiley face. And Ono Figaro says, if you won $1 million, the first thing you do is buy a house and then probably pay off your student debts. Maybe try and invest some of it somewhere, which is exactly what I would do. Student debts, priority. Ooh, just tilted the camera. Got to go back to my web camera, see where I am. There we go, now I can not slouch. Woo! Not slouching is better. Yes, very sensible things to do. That's basically what I would do. Student debts first, then maybe some sort of permanent infrastructure. Followed by some sort of, other sensible choices, but they're all good ones. moving forward to the Plum Saga, which none of you actually pointed out. I need to adjust this while I'm looking at it. I've adjusted many of the titles, but I've actually spelled plum wrong in almost all the titles. I spelled it Plumb, which is the plum as in a plumber, not as in plum the fruit. And none of you pointed out that I spelled that wrong, so revealing my dyslexic heritage. But yeah, sorry. If any of you noticed that, good job, but thank you for not pointing it out, or not thank you for not pointing it out, I don't know. Either way, it was funny. In hindsight, I was like, I need to change all of those titles. I think I have changed them all now, hopefully, fingers crossed, etc. So, there was a nice little, you know, I love it when you guys chat to each other. Like, I aim for that. If you guys chat to each other, it's the best. Like, you know, having an actual, like, community that talks among each other, it's the best. So Red Sky Blackbird said he liked the previous episode much better, more character development, better scenes, and better writing. Also, it didn't end so abruptly. Is this a trilogy? Or do I have... If so, I have very low hopes for the third part. I assume that the director screwed up and spent all the money on blackjack and hookers. Wow. I think that's a seriously higher production than any of my videos ever will be, and I'm not sure I'm ever going to spend money on blackjack or hookers. I play no blackjack, and I am not interested in hookers. So I think there are better ways of spending my money on pretty much anything than those two particular things. And also, thank you for thinking my production is so high. I realised this was a sarcastic comment, but I'm just taking it literally because I can. KSJ commented back saying, "This is why I don't pay attention to the critics. I predict the third episode will include a fuzzy creature in the plum tree. Jenny will discover who her father really is. I know who my father really is. He is a wonderful man and a very lovely human being who I've known all my life. But there is a fuzzy creature in the third part. There is a cat. So, you know, good predictions. Good job. So yeah, moving on to the plum collecting buddy. As I said, there is a fluffy creature. Jazz came and helped me. Jazz, my cat, he is a large, black, whiny little pussy, for lack of a better term. He really is a genuine scaredy cat. His sister rules the roost, and he just kind of goes along with it. Alyssa J says, so grumpy. He's a grumpy cat. He really is a grumpy cat, but he's delightful. Red Sky Blackbird says, always complaining, that cat, seriously, not even helping. In the end, he will keep all the plums for himself. Don't let him, Jenny, don't let him. Jazz is very fussy with his food. He will only eat certain things. He will only eat certain types of cat food. His sister, Eowyn, who's our other cat, she will eat anything. She will literally, like, famously ate a couple of sticks of asparagus a few years ago. She eats cardboard for fun. You know, anything you give her, she will give it a go. Jazz is notoriously fussy as an alternate. So yeah, he wouldn't be interested in plums. I was hoping he'd chase them. That was part of the video, but no, he wouldn't even try and eat or steal the plums. And I genuinely didn't expect him to help, but bless him for being company. And KSG says that cat is such a diva. He is a diva, I'll give him that much. Although, as I said, Eowyn is more of a diva. She's just more in most things. Oh no, I've just got a comment back saying, burn their fucking house down with combustible plums. It is a Portal 2 reference. Is it? Combustible plums. I need to replay Portal 2. The trouble is I get such bad motion sickness while playing first person ones, particularly with Portal because of the way that it's kind of goes. I got motion sickness editing videos. Like I edited my animal videos all like one after another and after another, and it's all handheld shots with like zooms and zooms in and zooms out and hand panning and everything. And I got to, after editing it for about 5 hours, I was like, time to go to bed. And I went to bed and I woke up in the middle of the night just so dizzy, like completely and utterly. Like I felt like I felt like I had the spins, but I didn't. It was pure motion sickness from looking at footage with shaky camera for quite so long. And like I think it kind of like if I leave it for a good couple of months without getting motion sick, I'm okay for a couple of sessions. But like I am so bad with the motion sickness right now. It's terrible. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to replay Portal 2 anytime to prove that point. But I shall trust you. I shall trust that it's a Portal 2 reference, and shame on me indeed for not getting it. I feel bad. Moving on to the Plum saga continues with Meow, with a very artistic shot of me with the sun almost directly behind my head, as I throw plums in the bowl that I had for my plums. Sometimes I forget how to say words and I do that kind of extendy thing, or I say randomly polysyllabic words to try and like give my brain time to adjust. So that's a little behind the scenes nugget for you guys. If you ever hear me say something like, and sporadically there's a thing, it's me trying to remember what I'm going to say next. Whew! Red Sky Blackbird says, also the plum hitting the bucket sounds as if you get points for every plum. For how many points did you get? I got many points because there were so many plums. Oh my god, the freezer is absolutely full of plums. I feel like I should have recorded myself destoning the plums because it took hours with like a little timer. Done like whatever it is, time lapse of me destoning the plums because it took so long, but it took like 4 sessions and I would have had to set my camera for it. It was just too much effort, but my god, did it take a long time. He also said the weather is not great here. I'm assuming the weather is a red sky. The weather here is not like great grey and grey as far as the eye can see. Yeah, it's getting to that now. It was very muggy today. My hair is definitely feeling a little bit like not particularly sunny, just hot and humid. But yeah. That day was particularly nice. It was windy and sunny, which is my favourite weather, like when it's really gusty, so you don't ever feel hot, but it's still got some brightness to it, although that is the weather I also burn. Actually, the weather I burn the worst in is like muggy overcast, because you don't think you're going to burn, and then you burn, but windy and cool is the second one for me. I do burn very badly in that, because you don't think you're burning because it's cold, but it is my favourite weather because you don't get too hot. Meet Gilbert. Gilbert is my twin sister's new bunny. He's a half giant flop, so he's pretty large. He's about that sort of size. When he stands up on his hind legs, he's about that tall and that wide. He's quite antisocial. He's a little bit crazy. We're hoping that once we've got him neutered, he'll be slightly more well behaved with a hormonal aspect. He's not particularly social. But I think my sister will break him down eventually and he'll become a snuggle bunny. But yeah, in the meantime, he's a nice bunny. He's friendly. Tours Time says, cute! He is. Nathan Lyle Official says, you should make him race Bert. He is a rabbit, so the tortoise and the hare reference is slightly off kilter. But yeah, I think that would be a fun thing to see, although, Bert lives either in Scotland or, I think it's in Scotland that he lives normally, or in Oxfordshire, and Bert lives in Sheffield, so the two of them meeting is very unlikely, but I think it would be fun, although I think I know who would win, and I think probably putting those two in the same area would result in some sort of, Bert's relatively well behaved, but I've got the feeling that Gilbert would I don't know how Gilbert would react. He's definitely not a normally brained bunny. He's slightly weird as a bunny, so I don't know how he would react. He'd probably be terrified. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to maybe put them in the same room sometime, but it would be a lot of effort to do that. Red Sky Blackbird says Glorious Gilbert, like Glorious Gilmore, I assume. Yes. He's perfectly glorious in his own way. If you count him as a weird bunny, he's certainly a weird bunny. Moving on to my 200th video of the year! Exclamation mark. David Barker says congratulations on the 200th, and I hope you have a lovely birthday, and little emoticons of a birthday cake and a party hat, possibly. It's quite hard to see from here, and a little present with a bow. I did have a lovely birthday. I'm still coming down from that kind of the post-birthday glow. I'm like, oh, I'm back at work and I'm back at life. But yeah, it was a lovely birthday. And 200th video, yay! I'm doing well on catching up, I think. Hopefully, fingers crossed. KSJ says, whenever you say the British word knackered, I always think of naked, just because it isn't in his American vocabulary. Yeah. Knackered actually, it's one of the words I use, but when I actually think of the meaning, it's one of the, like, it's part of my lexicon and has been for a long time. But when I actually think about it, I probably shouldn't use it because it does mean, like the general colloquialism is just being tired. You're completely wiped out, you're tired. That's the kind of the main usage, but if you actually go back into the connotations, it's being exhausted after vigorous interpersonal activity. So I probably shouldn't use it too much, but I think the general colloquialism overrules the traditional meaning, if that makes any sense. Like the American phrase, you could care less, like that means you couldn't care less, even though it doesn't actually mean you couldn't care less. The colloquialism wins out, so the actual meaning of I'm exhausted, it works, and I use it like that, but if you actually trace back the meaning, I probably shouldn't use it. But there we go. Sometimes you're going to have fun with the words. Red Sky Blackbird says, whoa! Question mark? I have no idea what that means, but good for you. Meeting Rupert is the next video. So Rupert is my sister's housemate's new bunny. He is a mini lop, so he's about this size. So Gilbert's about this size, and Rupert's about this size. He's about half the size of Gilbert. And he's much better behaved and a much more social bunny. Obi says his eyes make him look like he has questions and needs answers, or is concerned about his surroundings. Lol, watch again. Yes, Rupert is a little bit like, he's very, very blue eyes. It's quite alarming. But yeah, he's lovely. Raymond Smith said he's cute, which is a very true thing. Red Sky Blackbird asked if I like reptiles. I really do like reptiles. I mean, you know, I find, I don't know whether or not a turtle is a reptile technically. I really like bird. I've always liked bird. I find them fascinating and interesting, but one of my rules is if I were to actually have a pet, like a pet, I'd like something like a cuddle. Same with my twin sisters. The reason why she got bunnies is she couldn't really get anything more active than bunnies in her current housing situation, but at least with bunnies, once they're trained up, you can cuddle them. And you know, that sort of level of contact is one of the things that I look for in a pet. And I know you can cuddle reptiles, but one of the things I've learned from looking after Bert is if you have him on your lap for any significant amount of time, during summer it's lovely because he's like a little cold water bottle. He sucks the heat out of your thighs if you have him on your lap, or you know, if you have, like, you lie down and if you have him resting on your stomach, he just sucks the heat out. So you can't really cuddle him, and also he has claws. So I think there's a video that I possibly put on Twitter of him kind of resting on my chest when I'm all slouchy. He's about here, and then he's like clawing up here, and I had big old scratch marks across my chest for 2 days. So I like reptiles. I think they're fascinating, and Bert is endlessly fascinating me. I can stare at him for hours and just be fascinated. I just love the way he walks, and the way that he reacts to things. I just find just enthralling. But if I were to get a pet, I would like something that I can cuddle. And you know, I think I say in the video I've just put out, that I'll talk about in a few weeks, that, you know, my Patronus, if I were to have one, would be a cat. The pets I've always owned in my house have been cats. Cats are very independent, but you can get them to snuggle down with you if you want. And that's kind of like perfect for me, where they look after themselves. I live with my cats in a state of generally mutual indifference, but occasionally I can get them to settle, and it's so lovely when you actually have like a cat on your lap and you're like, oh, bless you, I love you. It's quite rare for me. The cats don't like very much, general state of mutual indifference, but I think it is important to be able to have the possibility for that level of contact. I find it very therapeutic. Acrylic Knight says bun, and I say ee, and it's a bunny. Yeah, bunnies. He's a good bun. Moving on to Quickie Distracted Push review / thoughts. I didn't realise until watching this video back while responding to comments, the audio in this is really bad. I'm so sorry. There was a window open about 2 meters away. I didn't think it affected the audio so badly, but it must have been blown directly into the microphone because the audio in that video is really bad. I'm so sorry. I didn't realise how bad it was, so I'm sorry the audio is not great for that video. Again, I'm not used to filming in my sister's house, so I wasn't quite aware of, that was up in the attic of her house, so there was wind coming straight off the hill up into the loft windows, so that's why there was so much wind in that video, so sorry about the audio quality. KSJ says he agrees it's an entertaining movie, and Ranger 7 Studios also agrees. He says Push is such a classic, totally forgotten but a must-see film. It's a great film, and it's one of those ones that kind of has fallen into obscurity because it's not your classic Hollywood film, but it's so good in so many other aspects. It's not like a lot of films where I can see why they don't work. This film works. I can see why it has the potential not to work, but it's kind of sad that it's fallen into obscurity. It's kind of, it's just fun. I really enjoyed it. It's my birthday video. It's no longer my birthday. It hasn't been my birthday for 10 days. But yes, it was actually published on my birthday. Woo! So I haven't responded to all your comments because there was a lot of comments, and there's only so many different ways I can say thank you. But I will read out the people who wish me happy birthday. Thresholder Dave said happy birthday and also said it in German and French. Raymond Smith said happy birthday. Towards Time wished me a happy Easter birthday. Solace B said he hoped he had an amazing day. I had an amazing day. Ono Figaro says hope I had a great time. Torsi said happy birthday from a viewer in Maine. Libin said happy birthday. David Baker said happy birthday. KSJ said happy birthday. Just Gester 47. I have not seen your username before. I'm going to respond to you because I've never responded to you before. Thank you. There we go. Live responses, guys. There was a lot of you, so I didn't respond to all of you. But as I've never seen that person's username before, I feel like they deserve a comment back. I hope you can all forgive me. And Ethan says, Skikan ri rodzgendan zevnajibol. I can't read that, but I assume it means happy birthday in some language. I am so sorry. I can't pronounce that sequence of letters. But thank you, Ethan. I assume you mean happy birthday and not something much worse. Oh, hiccup. Anyway, that is the end of that set of videos. Thank you all for watching. I hope that was okay. 28 minutes, much more reasonable, much more like my normal commentaries. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to comment. I will be putting out videos in vast quantities as I have been in order to catch up, and the trend will continue for a while and then hopefully get back to schedule sooner or later. In the meantime, feel free to comment on this video and comment on the other videos that I haven't responded to yet. And today's secret word of the day, for those of you who don't watch these regularly, for commentaries because they tend to be so long, I like to know who's actually watched the end. So I put a secret word at the end of the videos for you guys to put down in the comments, so I know who you are and whether or not you're an insane person enough to watch to the end. So today's secret word of the day is going to be monkey. Please, if you've watched all the way to the end and you want me to know that you've watched all the way to the end, put the word monkey in the comments somewhere. You can make it as subtle as you like. You can do cryptic crossword type things and see whether or not I can work it out, or you can be as blatant as you like and just put the word monkey. But yeah, I change the word every time I do a commentary, and it's just fun to see who's insane, because I like to know that I have company on that front. Anywho, thank you all for watching. Feel free to comment, and I'll see you guys all for the next commentary or the next daily vlog, whatever I post next on this crazy whirlwind of trying to catch up on my videos. And I kind of want to talk for another 22 seconds because then I'm on a flat 30-minute mark. So I'm going to do that because I've said it, so I might as well try. But yeah, I hope that was all good. Thank you for all your comments this week and all your future comments and whatnot. Live comments, both appearing on my feed and responding from this video. So great excitement and 30 minutes. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys all soon. Bye.